श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। श्री गुरवे नमः।
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 आचार्यं मां विजानीयान् नावमन्येत कर्हिचित् नमर्त्य बुद्ध्या सूयेत सर्वदेव मयो गुरु। हे परम प्रियतम,
हे परम प्रियतम,
पूर्णतम पुरुषोत्तम श्री कृष्ण,
पूर्णतम पुरुषोत्तम श्री कृष्ण,
तुमसे विमुख होने के कारण,
तुमसे विमुख होने के कारण
अनादिकाल से हमने,
अनादिकाल से हमने
अनंतानंत दुख पाए
अनंतानंत दुख पाए
एवं पा रहे हैं।
एवं पा रहे हैं।
पाप करते करते,
पाप करते करते
अंतःकरण इतना मलिन हो चुका है,
इतना मलिन हो चुका है
कि रसिकों द्वारा यह जानने पर भी कि तुम अपनी भुजाओं को पसारे, अपने वात्सल्यमयी दृष्टि से तुम हमारी प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हो। तुम्हारी शरण में नहीं आ पाता। हे अशरण शरण, तुम्हारी कृपा के बिना तुम्हें कोई जान भी तो नहीं सकता। ऐसी स्थिति में हे अकारण करुण, पतित पावन श्री कृष्ण, तुम अपनी अहेतुकी कृपा से ही हमको अपना लो। हे करुणा सागर, हम भुक्ति मुक्ति आदि कुछ नहीं मांगते। हमें तो केवल तुम्हारे निष्काम प्रेम की ही एकमात्र चाह है। हे नाथ, अपने विरध की ओर देखकर इस अधम को निराश न करो। हे जीवन धन, अब बहुत हो चुका। अब तो तुम्हारे प्रेम के बिना यह जीवन मृत्यु से भी अधिक भयानक है। अतएव प्रेम भिक्षाम देहि, प्रेम भिक्षां देहि
प्रेम भिक्षां देहि
प्रेम भिक्षां देहि
प्रेम भिक्षां देहि।
साकेत बिहारी श्री राघवेंद्र सरकार की
जय।
वृंदावन बिहारी श्री यादवेंद्र सरकार की
जय।
श्रीमद सतगुरु सरकार की
जय।
जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे।
Please stand for Jagat Guru Aarti and prayers. जयति जगत गुरु गुरुवर की गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की गुरुपद नख मणि चंद्रिका प्रकाश जाके उर बसता के मोहतम नाश जाके मात नाथ तव हाथ करे वास ताते हुए माया मोह सब ही निराश पावे गति मति रति राघवर की गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। अरे मन मूढ़ छाड़ नारी नरहार गुरु बिनु ब्रह्म श्याम न देंगे साथ कोमल कृपाल बड़े कृपा सिंधुनाथ पाके इन्हें आज तो अनाथ हो सनाथ इन्हीं के अधीन कृपा गिरिधर की गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की गाओ गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की। भक्ति योग रस अवतार अभिराम करे निगमागम समन्वय लला श्यामा श्याम नाम रूप लीला गुण धाम भाट रहे प्रेम निष्काम विनुदाम हो रही सफल काया नारी नर की गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। ललीला लीला का सलोना सुविलास छाया दिव्य दृष्टि विच प्रेम का प्रकाश कैसा ही विनोद वही मंच मृदुहास करे बस भर बस उच्च अट्टहास झूमे चले चाल वही नटवर की गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। जयति जगत गुरु गुरुवर की गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। Matpreyan
राधिका प्रेयान् मद्धवो राधिकाधव तस्मादपि गरीयान्यो कृपालुर्मे जगद्गुरु गुरुं भजति श्रीकृष्णः श्रीकृष्णं भजते गुरु सिद्धान्ततस्त्व भेदेऽपि कृपालुर्मे गुरुर्महान् यस्य साक्षात् भगवती ज्ञानदीपप्रदे गुरो मर्त्यासधीः श्रुतं तस्य सर्वं कुञ्जरशौचवत् एष वै भगवान् साक्षात् प्रधान पुरुषेश्वरः योगेश्वरैर्विमृग्यान्घ्रिर्लोकोऽयं मन्यते नरम् यमुना निकटतटस्थित वृन्दावन कानने महारम्ये कल्पद्रुमतलभूमौ चरणौ परिस्थाप्य तिष्ठन्तं घननीलं स्वतेजसा भासयन्तमिह विश्वं पीताम्बरपरिधानं चन्दनकर्पूरलिप्त सर्वाङ्गम् आकर्णपूर्णनेत्रं कुण्डलयुगमण्डितश्रवणं मन्दस्मितमुखकमलं सकौस्तुभोदार मणिहारम् वलयाङ्गुलीयकाद्या नुज्ज्वलयन्तं स्वलङ्कारान् गलविलुलितवनमालं स्वतेजसा पास्तकलिकालं गुञ्जारवालिकलितं गुञ्जापुञ्जान्विते शिरसि भुञ्जानं सह गोपैः कुञ्जान्तर्वर्तिनं नमत मन्दारपुष्पवासित मन्दारनिलसेवितपरानन्दम् मन्दाकिनीयुतपदं नमत महानन्ददं महापुरुषं सुरभीकृतदिग्वलयं सुरभिशतैरावृतः परितः सुरभीतिक्षपणमहा सुरभीमं यादवं नमत अशरण शरण महाप्रभो तुम स्वामी हम दास
कृपालु मम दीजय गुरु सहवास तुम दीनन रखवार हम अहंकार अवतार अस करु कृपा कृपालु अब दीन बनो सरकार होय सो हो पतित जो पतित न आप ही मान ऐसे पतित विचित्र को पावन करु तब जान सब भिखारी जगत के जेतिक नाते दार दिव्य प्रेम आनंद के तुम एक साहूकार धनी गुरुवर धाम निवास सुनो मन पुण्यन पुंज सो पाए जो बनि दीन प्रपन्न रहो गुरु के नित सेवा सो ताहि रिझाइए जो मन ते हरि को गुरु को सुमिरो रसना सो सदा गुण गाइए जो क्षण भंगुर जीवन जानी मना क्षण हो जानी व्यर्थ गवाइए जो सब धामन वारो वृंदावन पै और वृंदावन हूँ गुरु धाम पैवारो जो गुरु के पद प्रीति जुरी तो भजो चली आवे को ब्रह्म विचारो है हरि निर्मल भक्तन को गुरु है अधमों को उद्धारण हारो और को गुरु हो या न हो गुरु मेरो कृपालु सुभाग हमारो और को गुरु हो या न हो गुरु मेरो कृपालु सुभाग हमारो। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। श्रीमद् युगल सरकार की जय। श्री भक्ति धाम की जय। जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे। Page number is 133, 133, book number 2. And I'll remind you that the words will be projected on the screen. पृष्ठ संख्या 133, कीर्तन नंबर 147, Keertan number 147. Is there someone who cannot see the screen and needs the book and don't have one? Let's do Rup Dhyan as we sing these words. तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार, पुनि काहे करत अबार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार, पुनि काहे करत अबार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार, पुनि काहे करत अबार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार। सब लोग गाइए, ताली बजाइए। Everyone sing and clap your hands.
हम दीनन को सरदार, पुनि काहे करत अबार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम पतितन सो कर प्यार, हाँ पतितन को सरदार।
तुम पतितन सो कर प्यार, हाँ पतितन को सरदार।
तुम पतितन सो कर प्यार, हाँ पतितन को सरदार।
तुम पतितन सो कर प्यार, हाँ पतितन को सरदार।
हाँ पतितन को सरदार।
हाँ पतितन को सरदार।
पुनि काहे मोहि विसार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
पुनि काहे मोहि विसार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार, पुनि काहे करत अबार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार, पुनि काहे करत अबार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम जग के पालनहार, तुम जग के पालनहार, हाँ हूँ रह तब संसार।
तुम जग के पालनहार, हाँ हूँ रह तब संसार।
तुम जग के पालनहार, हाँ हूँ रह तब संसार।
तुम जग के पालनहार, हाँ हूँ रह तब संसार।
टुक हमरी हूँ और निहार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
टुक हमरी हूँ और निहार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
टुक हमरी हूँ और निहार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
टुक हमरी हूँ और निहार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार। पुनि काहे करत अबार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार। पुनि काहे करत अबार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तब माया अपरंपार, तब माया अपरंपार। हारे हरिहर सरकार,
तब माया अपरंपार। हरे हरि हर सरकार,
तब माया अपरंपार। हारे हरिहर सरकार,
तब माया अपरंपार। हरे हरि हर सरकार।
हाँ तो लघु अंश तिहार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
हाँ तो लघु अंश तिहार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
हाँ तो लघु अंश तिहार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
हाँ तो लघु अंश तिहार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम मम पितु वेद पुकार, सुत बूढ़त सिंधु अपार।
तुम मम पितु वेद पुकार, सुत बूढ़त सिंधु अपार।
सुत बूढ़त सिंधु अपार।
सुत बूढ़त सिंधु अपार।
सुत को बचाओ सरकार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
सुत को बचाओ सरकार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार। पुनि काहे मोहि बिसार। सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार। पुनि काहे करत अवार। सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम माया गुण गोपार, लीला तव अपरंपार।
तुम माया गुण गोपार, लीला तव अपरंपार।
तुम माया गुण गोपार, लीला तव अपरंपार।
तुम माया गुण गोपाल, लीला तव अपरंपार।
हम शिशु नवजात तिहार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
हम शिशु नवजात तिहार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
पुनि पुनि लिय तुम अवतार, पुनि पुनि लिय तुम अवतार। किय लीला नर अनुहार।
पुनि पुनि लिय तुम अवतार, किय लीला नर अनुहार।
तब सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
पुनि पुनि लिय, पुनि पुनि लिय तुम अवतार। किय लीला नर अनुहार।
पुनि पुनि लिय तुम अवतार, किय लीला नर अनुहार।
मोहे ब्रह्मादि निहार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
मोहे ब्रह्मादि निहार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार। पुनि काहे करत अबार। सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार। पुनि काहे करत अवार। सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
जब कृपा करहु सरकार, तब को तो ही निहार।
जब कृपा करहु सरकार,
लो मम नंद कुमार।
तब माने तब हो प्यार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तब माया शक्ति अपार, वाने किय बंटा ढार।
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 याते हों तो ही विसार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
याते हो तो ही विसार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
याते हों तो ही विसार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
याते हो तो ही विसार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
श्रुति बारंबार पुकार, तेरो एक नंद कुमार।
श्रुति बारंबार पुकार, तेरो एक नंद कुमार।
तेरो एक नंद कुमार।
तेरो एक नंद कुमार।
मानत नहीं मन हठ धार, सुन लो कृपालु सरकार।
मानत नहीं मन हठ धार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
मानत नहीं मन हठ धार, सुन लो कृपालु सरकार।
मानत नहीं मन हठ धार, सुन लो कृपालु सरकार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार। पुनि काहे करत अवार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार। पुनि काहे करत अवार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार। पुनि काहे करत अवार, सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
तुम दीनन को रखवार, हम दीनन को सरदार, पुनि काहे करत अवार। सुन लो मम नंद कुमार,
सुन लो मम नंद कुमार,
सुन लो मम नंद कुमार।
वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की
जय।
We turn back to page 114, पृष्ठ संख्या 114, page 114 in the same book. Just now we sang from Braj Ras Madhuri, book Braj Ras Madhuri part 2. Now we are going to sing from Braj Ras Madhuri part 1. Jo Piya Ruchi Maha Ruchi Rakhe, the bottom of the page. जो प्रियतम की रुचि में रुचि रखता है, उसी को ही प्रेम रस की प्राप्ति होती है। जिसको कर्म मार्ग, ज्ञान मार्ग, योग मार्ग नहीं भाते, उसको ही प्रेम रस मिलता है। जो स्वर्ग और नरक को एक समान मानता है, जो मुक्ति को पिशाचिनी चुड़ैल मानता है, उसके पास नहीं जाता, उसको दूर रखता है, और रिद्धि सिद्धि में रुचि नहीं रखता, उसको ही प्रेम रस की प्राप्ति होती है। जो भगवान को, श्री कृष्ण को मधुर भाव से अपना प्रियतम मान के प्यार करता है और उस प्रियतम भाव में बाकी सब भाव समाहित करता है, यानी कभी उनको दास्य भाव से, कभी सख्य भाव से, कभी वात्सल्य भाव से, और हमेशा प्रियतम के भाव से प्यार करता है, और अपने सुख के ऊपर ध्यान ना दे करके प्रियतम के सुख की ही चिंता करता है, यानी निष्काम भक्ति करता है, उसको ही प्रेम रस की प्राप्ति होती है। जिसको हरि और हरिजन, जिसको भगवान और संतों से ही प्यार होता है, जो अपना मन संसार में कहीं और नहीं लगाता, अपनी ड्यूटी करता है। और श्री महाराज जी के शब्दों में जगत गुरु श्री कृपालु जी महाराज कहते हैं, जो उर कृपालु हरि राखे, जो अपने हृदय में हरि को ही रखता है, उसको ही प्रेम रस की प्राप्ति होती है। जो पिया रुचि महा रुचि राखे, प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे।
जो पिया रुचि महारुचि राखे, प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे।
जो पिया रुचि महान रुचि राखे, प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे।
जो पिया रुचि महारुचि राखे, प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे।
प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे।
प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे।
जेहि कर्म ना नेक हूँ भावे रे, जेहि ज्ञान हूँ नाही सुहावे रे।
जेहि कर्म नेक
चाखे
जो योग दूर करी राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे
माँ
रिद्धि सिद्धि और राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे
जो पिया रुचि महान रुचि राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे
जो पिया रुचि महारुचि राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे
जो मधुर भाव अपनावे रे या विचारे हूँ भाव समावे रे
जो मधुर भाव अपनावे रे या विचारी हो भाव समावे
जो मधुर भाव अपनावे रे या विचारे हूँ भाग समावे रे
जो मधुर भाव अपनावे रे या विचारी हो भाव समावे
निज सुख
जय हो
राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे
जो निज सुख और नहीं राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे
जो निज सुख उर नहीं राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे
जो निज सुख और नहीं राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे
जो हरि हरि जननी भावे कहूँ अनंत नटुक मन लावे
जो हरि हरि जन ही भावे कहूँ अनंत नाटुक मन लावे
कहूँ अनंत
सोई चाखे जो पिया रुचि महारुचि राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे श्री राधे राधे गोविंद राधे 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 श्री राधे राधे गोविंद राधे
जय
राधे राधे गोविंद राधे श्री राधे राधे गोविंद राधे
श्री राधे राधे गोविंद राधे श्री राधे राधे गोविंद राधे
श्री राधे राधे गोविंद राधे श्री राधे राधे गोविंद राधे
श्री राधे राधे गोविंद राधे
श्री राधे राधे गोविंद राधे
जो पिया रुचि महान रुचि राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे
जो पिया रुचि महारुचि राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे।
बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की
जय।
I would like to go over this Keertan that we sang, Jo Piya Ruchi Maharuchi Rakhe. It's important to go over it and understand its deep meaning. Shri Maharaj Ji, Jagat Guru Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj, has given us both sweetness as well as knowledge through his Keertans and bhajans. So, the individual who regards the Divine Beloved's happiness as his own tastes the nectar of divine love. What is divine love? Why should we aspire towards that? There are many attainments that the soul may aspire towards. Most people aspire towards Swargalok, the celestial abode. And then there are very few who aspire towards liberation, very few. And then there are extremely rare ones who aspire towards the highest acquisition, the highest attainment, and that is divine love. As far as Swargalok is concerned, the celestial abode, it is to be rejected. Because although most people think that Swarga is a place of great pleasures, it is that, but most people also believe it is a divine place, it is the kingdom of God, which it is not. You have heard many times that when you go to Swargalok, you taste very great pleasures. You're given very heightened pleasures, the likes of which we cannot even think about in this world. They don't exist in this world. And yet, those pleasures end up giving one sorrow and suffering. The consequence of attaining those pleasures is only sorrow and suffering. That is all. Swargahu swalpa ant dukhadai. In the end, they give only sorrow and suffering. So then, having understood this, some people aspire towards liberation. I wish for moksha or liberation. But liberation is not the highest attainment either. By liberation, we mean the soul merges within Brahma. The soul merges within God. And then the individuality is gone. forever because the soul has merged within the Supreme. It is a good thing. Many people say that is a good thing, that's a wonderful thing. And it is. Because God is Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat. The Vedas say, the eternal Vedas say, that God is bliss. God is unlimited and everlasting happiness. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham, Taittiriya Upanishad. God is happiness which is unending. God is happiness which is eternal and unending. So is it wrong to merge within Brahma, to merge within God? Now it sounds wonderful. But when you merge within God, when you merge within Brahma, then you cannot taste the sweetness because you have become one with the sweetness. This is why a devotee rejects even liberation. The devotee says, I do not want liberation. Liberation in the female form, mukti or moksha, comes to the devotee and says, I wish to serve you. I have come to you because you are a servant, you are a true devotee of Shri Krishna, you are a devotee of God, so I have come with the intent to serve you. It would be my privilege to serve you. But the devotee says, I don't want to see you, I don't want you around me. Dure tishtha managanagasi katham kuryada naryam mai tvad gandhan nij naam chandana rasa lepasya lopo bhavet. Go far, far away, dur chali jao mere se. I don't want to. I don't want you. But why, Maharaj? My Lord, why do you reject me? Because I only want my divine beloved. I only want to love him. I want his divine love. I don't want liberation. I do not want to be attached to liberation. I want only my Lord. So I don't want you. Today you have come with the desire to serve me. Tomorrow, in the near future, I may just become attracted to you and I'll forget all about my Lord. So I do not want you. The devotee, the cleverest devotee, the most intelligent, the most knowledgeable devotee, guided by a Rasik saint, a Rasik guru, rejects even liberation. Because he wants divine love. Divine love is the highest attainment. The devotee retains a separate existence from God, and he's always tasting the nectar of God, always tasting the sweetest nectar, the unending nectar, the ever-increasing nectar. You may question this. You may have a question regarding this. On the one hand, there is Brahmanand, the bliss of God when you merge within God. That's Brahmanand. On the other hand, you have Premanand, when you are always tasting the nectar of God, God in the personal form. Both of them are unlimited, right or wrong? The answer is both of them are unlimited, yes. Whether you merge within God or you retain a separate identity and keep on serving Him, you are receiving unlimited happiness. Right or wrong? Right. Then why should I aspire towards Premanand? Why should I aspire towards divine love? It is because Brahmanand, although it is unlimited, yet it is unlimited and stagnant, like water in a pond, stagnant water. It is unlimited but stagnant. On the other hand, when you receive divine love, that is unlimited and ever increasing. It is both. It's unlimited, and yet it is still ever increasing. Meaning, in Golok, in the divine abode of Shri Krishna, the devotee is having the darshan of Shri Krishna. He looks at his Lord, and he thinks, there can be no greater beauty than this. He cannot be any more beautiful. But when the devotee looks at Shri Krishna, the next moment, he thinks, oh my, his beauty has increased. How is that possible? And the next moment, when he looks at Shri Krishna, again the beauty has increased. And it keeps on increasing. And it never comes to an end. It's not like the full moon. When the moon is full and when there's a full moon, and now it's going to go further and further down. It's going to decrease. So there's no fullness in that. It just keeps on increasing for eternity. And that is a very important difference between Brahmanand, the bliss that one tastes when one merges within Brahma, the impersonal, absolute, the formless aspect of God, and Premanand, when one becomes a devotee of Shri Krishna, God with name and form and pastimes, and God comes down to earth, and we worship Him, we start falling in love with Him, we serve Him. Then when one goes to Golok, the divine abode of Shri Krishna, then he becomes a devotee. He remains a devotee of Shri Krishna for all eternity. And he keeps on serving Him. And he keeps on tasting unlimited bliss, which is ever increasing. So, Premaras, Divyanand, divine happiness, the divine love bliss of Shri Krishna, that is the ultimate attainment. And this is why Jagadguru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj says that the individual who regards the beloved's happiness as his own tastes the nectar of divine love. Who receives divine love? One who becomes a selfless devotee of God. One who does not care for his happiness. Here we are in this world, most people go to the temple or the church or the synagogue or the mosque. They go to a place of worship, Gurudwara, just to ask God for worldly favors. Whether they are lighting a diya, a deepam, or candle, or doing something else, they are trying to please God so that God may give them something worldly. And more often than not, it's more wealth, better health, better job, and the like. We've been asking for trinkets from God. It's like going to the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, and asking Him for pennies. Could you not ask Him for something bigger? He has so much to give, but you ask for only pennies? So we have been stuck in just the material world and asking God only for material goods, that's all. But then when we learn from a teacher, a divine teacher who comes down to earth, he looks like a human, but there's nothing ordinary about him. He's called a guru. He is a divine being. He's called a guru. The one who eradicates the darkness of ignorance, one who takes us from darkness to light. And then there are many categories of gurus. The highest one is a Rasik Sant, a Rasik saint, a Rasik guru. And he teaches us to love God without any expectations, without any selfish desire. Love God without asking Him for even liberation. Don't love God for any reason. Love Him selflessly. That is the highest lesson, the greatest lesson that a guru can teach the disciple. So when we learn, this is the lesson that Jagadguru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj has taught the world. So when we learn that, then we start to understand that we must not ask for even liberation, that there is something beyond that, and that is divine love. Gauranga Mahaprabhu, 500 years ago, Radha and Krishna took this form, they took the form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and Gauranga Mahaprabhu said, Panchama Purushartha Shai Prem Mahadhan. He says, reject the 4 traditional aims of life and accept the 5th and the highest aim of life, and that is the attainment of divine love. Aspire towards that. Jehi karma na nekahu bhave re, jehi gyanahu nahi suhave re, jo yog dur kari rakhe, prem ras soi chakhe re. Here Sri Maharaji is alluding to the other paths that the scriptures tell us about. Besides the path of bhakti or devotion, the path of love, there is a path of karma dharma, there is a path of yoga, which these days is called yoga. There's a path, not just the physical postures. There's a path of yoga. There is a path of gyan or knowledge. These are the other 3 paths that the scriptures talk about. But the Rasik saint says, reject the path of karma and dharma, reject the path of yoga, reject the path of gyan. Why? Why do the scriptures talk about these paths if we are to reject them? Well, the path of karma and dharma, it is a path of following the injunctions of the Vedas. The Vedas tell every individual what his or her duty in life is. Are you a Brahmin? Are you Kshatriya? Are you Vaishya? Or are you Shudra? What is your caste? People say, this caste system is terrible. It's not fair. And we ask the Supreme Lord, who came up with this caste system? And Shri Krishna said, I did. You did? Yes. Chatur varnyam maya srishtam, he says in the Gita. I came up with this system because different people have different aptitudes. They have different interests. They have different abilities. So there are those who are more scholarly. They are the Brahmins. Their duty is to acquire the knowledge of the scriptures and to teach others. They are the teachers. The Kshatriyas, they are physically stronger than everyone else. So they are the warriors, they're the soldiers. Because every country needs an army. So they are the soldiers, they're the warriors to protect the country. Then there are those who have good business sense, they are the Vaishyas. And there are those who are menial laborers. They're laborers. But in the eyes of God, all four are absolutely equal. Absolutely equal. This is just a division of labor, without anyone being higher and anyone being lower, lesser. So depending on whether you are a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, and then that's your varna, and then the ashram, your stage in life. Are you a brahmachari? Are you at the first stage of your life? From birth till 25 years of age. You are supposed to observe the laws of brahmacharya, celibacy. You're a celibate student. There are different rules for you. And then at the age of 25, you're supposed to get married. This was in the olden days. This is the rule. These are the rules, varnashram dharma. So at 25, you get married. And then you start a family. Then 25 years later, then you're supposed to leave the family and leave your business, leave everything, leave that in the hands of your children, and you go to the forest, you go to practice devotion full time, because life will come to an end soon. Then in the fourth and the final stage of life, so first is brahmacharya, that is the age of celibacy, you're a celibate student, then you're a grihastha, householder, then you're vanaprasthi, you have now you have secluded yourselves, husband and wife, you're now living in the jungles and you are practicing devotion to God full time. And then the final ashram, the final stage of life, is sannyas. Then husband and wife both go their own ways. Then who is husband, who is wife? No. The Guru says no one is anyone's husband, no one is anyone's wife. You are individual souls. You belong only to God and only God belongs to you. Now practice devotion individually. So 4 ashrams, 4 stages of life. So depending on your varna and ashram, there are specific duties specified by the Vedas. So that is a path of karma and dharma in a nutshell. Should we follow this path? The scriptures say, again in a nutshell, I'll tell you, the scriptures say follow this path only if you're going to practice devotion to God side by side. Practice devotion, and if you like, you follow the path of karma dharma. But you don't have to. You can just do devotion. Because if you're practicing devotion and you are following this path of karma and dharma, then it is the devotion to God that will take you to God, not the path of karma and dharma. If you follow this path without devotion, you will end up going only to Svargalok, which is only for fools, as the Vedas tell us. Ishtapurtam manyamana varishtham nanyat shreyo vedayante pramudhaha. They are the greatest of fools who aspire towards and actually attain Svargalok after death. So karma and dharma is to be rejected because by itself it leads us with great difficulty, by the way, only to Svargalok. which is insulted by the Vedas. But if you're practicing devotion side by side, it is the devotion that will take you to God. So karma dharma by itself is to be rejected. The same thing with the path of yoga. It's a very difficult path. These days, people only know about the postures, and if anything else, then the breathing exercises, pranayam, and hardly anyone goes to the meditation part, dhyan. But there are 8 limbs of yoga, and Patanjali, who came up with this path, he said, if you find that this path is too difficult for you, then do one thing. What is that? Ishvara pranidhanadva. Ishvara pranidhanadva. He says, just surrender to God. Practice devotion to God. Forget about everything else. You know, in this age of Kali, in Kali Yuga, it is next to impossible to follow the path of yoga. Because our minds are very weak and our bodies are also extremely weak. We're not following a disciplined life. So the path of yoga is next to impossible to follow in this age. If someone says, I'm following this path, they're not following it correctly. They're just following a little part of it. They're into a little bit of meditation, if only a little bit. If they're doing meditation at all, it's a little bit of that, and then mostly it's a physical postures and breathing exercises. The path of Gyan also, it's a very difficult path to follow. And in the end, in order to attain Brahma Gyan, the knowledge of God, you have to practice devotion. Shri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, "O Arjun, when someone becomes Atma Jnani, he's following the path of Gyan. The highest that he will go to is that he will become an Atma Jnani. He will know the self. He will gain knowledge of the soul, but he has not attained my knowledge. He has not become Brahma Jnani. He is an Atma Jnani. And that is just a partial knowledge of God, because the Atma, the individual soul, is a part and parcel of Paramatma, the Supreme Soul. So by following the path of Gyan, which is extremely difficult, it's like climbing a mountain. The fatality rate is very high. Climbing the most difficult mountain, the highest mountain, it is so difficult, so dangerous. And so the one who is following, the practitioner of this path, falls down again and again. It takes him lifetimes and lifetimes to advance even a little bit. And then, at the end, even if he does succeed in going to the topmost level of his path, he has attained only Atma Gyan. He has become knowledgeable about the soul. He has understood that he is the soul. We say verbally, I am the Atma, I know I am the Atma, but we don't really know. But the Atma Jnani becomes so advanced that he truly believes and experiences himself to be the soul. So he doesn't get attached anywhere in the world. He does not identify himself with the body. So even if he is subjected to very hot climate, he is not affected. If he's in sub-zero temperatures, he is not affected, because he does not experience himself to be the physical body. That's a very, very high situation, very high stage, I should say. Jad Bharat comes to mind. Almost everyone knows that name. Jad Bharat, he was an Atma Jnani. Very advanced, but he was not Brahma Jnani. He was not God realized. And so he fell from the path. He became attached to an animal, a deer. He saw that a doe bearing a child, she was about to give birth, she was in the water, and when she heard the roar of a lion, the frightening roaring sound of a lion, she gave birth and swam away, leaving her young one. So Jad Bharat saw this, and he took the little animal to his ashram and raised it and became very attached to it. And in his final moments, his thoughts were on the animal. He thought, oh, my son, my child, who will take care of him now? So he gathered his disciples and he said, take care of my child. He's left an orphan now. He will be left an orphan once I die. Take care of him. That's an Atmagyani. He had realized himself to be the soul, but he had not attained God realization. So Maya grabbed hold of him. He became attached to an animal. Consequently, in his next life, he was born in the body of a deer. But an interesting side note, in the following life, he was born as a human again, and he remembered what had transpired in the last 2 lives, and he was now very, very careful. He was extremely careful not to get attached anywhere. He went to the extent of showing to his family that he was mad, that he was so crazy that he would rub his own excrement all over his body, just so people would not come near him, just so he would not get attached to anyone. His brothers, they thought him to be a madman. They locked him in a cage. They would push the food inside the cage, and he would eat it. Like an animal, he was caged up, but he was very happy. He thought, I will not become attached to the world again. Even if everyone thinks me to be a madman, that is fine with me, but I will not take any chances. I will not become attached again. So an Atma-gyani is not a Brahma-gyani. On the path of Gyan or knowledge, you attain knowledge of the self, the soul, not the knowledge of God. So Shri Krishna says, in order to attain my knowledge, he says to Arjuna in the Gita, you must practice devotion to me. The Atma-gyani must practice devotion to me, then he'll become Brahma-gyani. Then he will know me, who I am, what I am. He will know me then. So you see the trend? Whether we are talking about the path of karma dharma, or the path of yoga, or the path of gyan, these paths will not take us to the ultimate goal of God realization. They take us to other places. But if we choose to follow these paths, then we need to do that alongside with devotion. Or we can reject these paths and only practice devotion, because devotion alone will take us to our final goal, our final destination. Loving God selflessly will take us to the divine, to the attainment. It will give us the attainment of divine love. So Jagatguru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj says, reject the paths of karma, yoga, and gyan. Only practice bhakti, practice devotion, and that too, selfless devotion. Do not ask for anything from God, not even liberation. जो स्वर्ग नरक सम जाने रे, जो मुक्ति पिशाची नहीं माने रे, नहीं रिद्धि सिद्धि उर राखे, प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे. He who regards Swarg or celestial abode and Narak, hell, to be the same, and one who thinks liberation to be a demoness and disregards the riddhis and siddhis, occult powers, tastes the nectar of divine love. All these must be rejected. Many people are very fascinated by siddhis. Oh, this Baba, this holy man, he has siddhis. What does he do? He goes like this and suddenly fire is produced. Really? I could do the same by lighting a lighter. I could build a fire, that's all he does? No, he has greater siddhis. What can he do? He can materialize things out of air. Oh, so how does that help you? Spiritually, how does that help you? Oh, he has amazing siddhis, like 8 sattvic siddhis. They are the greatest. Anima, Laghima, Garima, Mahima, Prakamya, Ishitva, Vashitva, Prapti. 8 sattvic siddhis, and they are most fascinating. And a lot of people become attracted towards those. And these siddhis are attained through the path of yoga. Someone who has these siddhis performs miracles in front of people. He can enter your mind. He can become very, very small and enter your mind, and he can tell you what you've been thinking. So if you don't know any better, you'll say, oh my God, you must be God. You know what I'm thinking. And he thinks, yes, go ahead and think me to be God, but I just have this siddhi. I have these siddhis that I have worked very hard to attain. So, a person who has these siddhis naturally wants to demonstrate them in front of the world. So what happens is he goes further and further away from God. Because now, so many people are coming to see him. First, dozens of people. Then they advertise. Word of mouth is very powerful. Oh, there's this Babaji who has this siddhi. Really? I want to go too. And then hundreds, then thousands, and then hundreds of thousands, and then millions. They want to see. It's amazing. He walks on water, That's a siddhi. There's a story I'd like to share with you. A story of a yogi and a devotee. They were both good friends. And they were traveling somewhere and they had to cross a river. And the yogi said, well, I'm just going to walk on water. They were waiting for a boat. It didn't come for a while. So the yogi says, I'm just going to use my powers of yoga. I'm going to walk on water. And the devotee said, well, go ahead and I'll just wait for a boatman to come. So the yogi just walked on water, went to the other side, and the devotee waited for the boatman, paid him a few coins, and went to the other side of the river. Then they met up again on the other side, and the yogi said, you keep on praising your Lord Krishna, and how is he going to take you across the ocean of Maya when he can't even take you across a river? Look at me. I used my powers of yoga, and I crossed the river. The devotee said, I'm not going to disturb my Lord for a small thing like crossing a river. Think about it. You and I both accomplished the same work. We both crossed the river. You used your powers of yoga, and now you'll have to work harder because you have depleted those powers. You have used them up. Now you need to accumulate more. You'll have to do your yoga sadhana. Yes, I will have to do that. And I did the same thing by paying a boatman a few coins. So would you not say that your siddhis are worth a few coins? How valuable are they? Think about it. The devotee does not become attracted by siddhis. Again, there's another story, a true story of two saints. One was a yogi, one was a devotee. And they were traveling somewhere, they were both thirsty, and there was water in the well, but it was too deep for them to get to. So the yogi, again, assumed a very small form, and he jumped into the water and drank the water and quenched his thirst and came out. And he said to the devotee, what are you going to do? And just then, the water level started to rise and came right to the top. And the devotee quenched his thirst, and he shed tears of gratitude. He said, my Lord, you didn't have to do this, but you're always taking care of me. Because he was a pure devotee of God, without asking for any favors, the Supreme Lord made the level of the water rise to the surface. The devotee is not attracted by siddhis. He does not wish to get distracted from pure love for God. He does not want any such distraction. So here, Jagadguru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj is saying that a devotee does not get attracted by siddhis, riddhis and siddhis, these powers. And also, he regards Swarga and Narak to be the same, which is very, very bold statement, I would say. Most people would say, that's a very bold statement. Swarga, a lot of people who want to go to Swarga, they say, Mere Swargavasi Nana Ji, my maternal grandfather, he died, and now he's living in Swargalok. And Narak, nobody wants to go to Narak. There are 7 heavens, 7 Swargalok, 7 levels of Swarg, and there are 28 hells, according to our scriptures. So someone would say, if given a choice, where would you rather go, Swarg or Narak? What do you mean? There's no choice. I'd rather go to Swarg, of course. Who wants to go to Narak with all the punishment over there? But a Rasik saint says, Swarg, Narak, both are the same. They're not going to take you to your ultimate attainment. While you're there, you cannot work towards loving God. So regard them both to be the same. No difference. Don't desire Swarg just as you would never desire Narak. And just as you would never desire to go to hell, in the same way, do not desire to go to Swarg, the celestial abode. जो मधुर भाव अपनावे रे, या मैं चारी हूँ भाव समावे रे, जो निज सुख उर नहीं राखे प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे. The one who keeps the sentiment of a beloved towards Shri Krishna, one who loves God as a beloved. He thinks himself to be the preyasi and Shri Krishna as a beloved, Priyatam. And he loves God sometimes as the master, sometimes as his best friend, sometimes as his child, but always as the beloved, because he's a Madhurya Bhav devotee. Even in the world, there are different sentiments. When we love someone, there are different sentiments with which we love them. We have different family members. You have a brother, you have a sister, you have a mother, you have a father, you have a husband or a wife. So there are different sentiments. And out of all those sentiments, the sentiment of the beloved, lover-beloved relationship is the highest, even in the world. It's the most intimate. So it's logical that that is the most intimate relationship that the soul can have with the Supreme Soul. So Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj suggests that we love Shri Krishna as the beloved, and we love him selflessly. Whenever we want, we can love him as our child, as our friend, as our master, mother, father, everything. But above all, Madhurya Bhav. And love him for his happiness, not for your own. Narad Muni, the great sage Narad has also said in his greatest scripture, Narad Bhakti Darshan, Tat Sukha Sukhitvam. These are words that you can memorize actually. We can all memorize these words. Tat Sukha Sukhitvam. That means his happiness alone. I shall work for his happiness alone, for my beloved's happiness, never regarding my happiness to be important. जो हरि हरिजन ही भावे रे, कहूँ अनत नटुक मन लावे रे, जो उर कृपालु हरि राखे, प्रेम रस सोई चाखे रे. Jagat Guru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj says, he who loves only God and Guru, he who does not take his mind elsewhere in the world, and keeps only God in his heart, tastes the nectar of divine love. Do your duty in the world, but keep your mind attached to God. Saint Kabir has said in very simple language, Tan kar mein, man yar mein. How beautiful this is. Simple words, deep concept. Tan kar mein, physically do your duty in the world, but mentally keep yourself attached to God, your divine beloved. So the one who does that, the one who is attached only to God and the divine messenger of God, the Guru, and does his duty towards his family, the one who is doing his duty and yet keeping his mind on God. That's what Lord Krishna says to Arjun. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yuddhya. Keep your mind on me while engaging your body in this battle. Fight the battle physically, but keep your mind only on me. That is the greatest message of the Bhagavad Gita. So Shri Maharaji says, such an individual ultimately tastes the nectar of divine love, which is the highest attainment. Boliye Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki Jai. Ladli Lal ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Shelly will lead us now in the Hare Ram Sankirtan. Very simple words. She'll be singing Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We'll be singing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare, Ram and Krishna. These three names of God are being chanted in this Kirtan. Hare means God, a name for God, which means the one who takes away material afflictions. One who takes away ignorance. He is God. He is Hare. Ram means one who lives in the hearts of the greatest yogis. That is Ram. Krishna means one who is all attractive. One who attracts everyone. Isn't God all attractive? Doesn't God live in the heart? And does He not take away our material sorrows and sufferings, our afflictions and ignorance? So out of countless names of God, we are chanting now the 3 names of God, Hare, Ram and Krishna. When we call out to Hare, in the invocative case, we say Hare. So Hare means, Oh Hare, Oh my Lord. Let's do Roop Dhyan. Let's bring God into our hearts as we chant.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
श्रीमद् सतगुरु सरकार की जय।
We will now offer Bhog. We will offer food. I'm very proud of our little children, bigger children also, who are learning how to play the harmonium and also to playing the dholak, the drums, and also they're learning to sing. So we have little devotees. Meera is on the main, she's the lead singer, with Kushi being one of the chorus singers, and Charmi also. Please go ahead. And Shreyan on the dholak. All students right here in Yugal Kunj learning music and devotion.
अब नार तरसाओ रसिया आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया अब नार तरसाओ रसिया आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया यद्यपि यह सच है नहीं तुम कहा यद्यपि यह सच है नहीं तुम कहा भूख प्यास लागती रसिया भूख प्यास लागती रसिया भूख प्यास लागती रसिया भूख प्यास लागती रसिया तदपि भाववश ब्रज छछिया लगे चोरी करत फिर्यो रसिया तदपि भाववश ब्रज छछिया लगे चोरी करत फिर्यो रसिया चोरी करत फिर्यो रसिया चोरी करत फिर्यो रसिया आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया भाव भरा केले का छिलका भाव भरा केले का छिलका विदुरानी घर खायो रसिया विदुरानी घर खायो रसिया विदुरानी घर खायो रसिया विदुरानी घर रसिया।
भावहीन दुर्योधन व्यंजन मैथुक मन भायो रसिया।
नहीं टुक मन भायो रसिया।
नहीं टुक मन भायो रसिया।
आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया।
श्याम आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया।
जो रस शबरी के जूठे मुख।
जो रस शबरी के जूठे मुख।
बेर खाय पायो रसिया।
बेर खाय पायो रसिया।
बेर खाय पायो रसिया।
बेर खाय पायो रसिया।
जनकपुरी के राज भोग महा। सोरस नहीं पायो रसिया।
जनकपुरी के राज भोग महा। सोरस नहीं पायो रसिया।
सोरस नहीं पायो रसिया।
सोरस नहीं पायो रसिया।
आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया।
श्याम आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया।
अब नार तरसाओ रसिया। आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया।
अब नार तरसाओ रसिया। आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया।
हो मानत हो भावहीन हो।
हो मानत हो भावहीन हो।
पैसन खरी खरी रसिया।
पैसन खरी खरी रसिया।
पैसन खरी खरी रसिया।
पैसन खरी खरी रसिया।
कत कृपालु पय पियो पुत नहीं। यादे अब आ जाओ रसिया।
कत कृपालु पय पियो पूत नहीं। यादे अब आ जाओ रसिया।
यादे अब आ जाओ रसिया।
यादे अब आ जाओ रसिया।
आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया।
श्याम आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया।
रसिया हो रसिया मेरे मन बसिया।
रसिया हो रसिया मेरे मन बसिया।
रसिया हो रसिया
मेरे मन बसिया।
रसिया हो रसिया।
मेरे मन बसिया।
रसिया हो रसिया
मेरे मन बसिया।
रसिया हो रसिया।
मेरे मन बसिया।
आओ आओ रसिया।
भोग लगाओ रसिया।
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 रसिया हो रसिया
मेरे मेरे मन बसिया
रसिया हो रसिया
मेरे मन बसिया
आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया
श्याम आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया
अब ना और तरसाओ रसिया आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया
अब ना और तरसाओ रसिया आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया
श्याम आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया
श्याम आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया
श्याम रसिया की
जय।
Radhe Radhe. Welcome everyone to Yugal Kunj. My name is Nishtha. I'm one of the volunteers here in Yugal Kunj. Yugal Kunj would like to invite you for our 5 weeks long Thanksgiving retreat, starting on the day of Thanksgiving, November 24th, concluding on January 1st, 2023. This retreat incorporates a variety of sessions, including starting from morning sadhana, Keertans, Satsang, question and answer session with Didi Ji, devotional outings, devotional picnics, and much more. So please come and join us, and let's strengthen our relationship with God and Guru. The schedule for the retreat has been displayed on the TV out in Padma Prasad Bhavan, which is our dining hall. So please look out for that. We have Tipti Didi for our additional announcements.
Thank you, Radhe Radhe. On very popular demand, we are starting another session for beginner Hindi class in the spring semester. It will be from Sunday 2 to 3 p.m. We got a family who committed to signing up 7 of their family members because they so desperately wanted this class. So we are now opening it up. Our session, we can accommodate up to 20 kids. I just wanted to make sure that you are aware we will be starting this in the spring semester, which is after January 1st. The registration will be open by Thanksgiving. And so please sign up. And if we do not have your contact information, please make sure that you have given us your email address and your contact information at the front desk, because the flyers and the necessary registration information will start going out soon. So thank you very much, and thank you for continuing to talk about our Gurukul programs, our Hindi programs, our music programs, and everything that we do for our kids here to your friends and family, because in the end, there is no better advertising than word of mouth, which continues to reinforce that your kids are getting benefit from it, and that is our ultimate goal. So thank you very much, Radhe Radhe.
Thank you. I would just like to personally invite you and tell you more about the retreat that Nishtha talked about. It's more like 6 weeks, so it's a long retreat. That just means you have a lot of opportunity to do devotion to God and to learn more, acquire more knowledge that we can use in everyday life. So one of the very important activities during the retreat is the lectures that I'll be giving in the evening. I know a lot of people cannot make it throughout the day, but I would like to emphasize the lecture part. And keeping in mind that everyone may not be able to make it a little earlier, so we made the lecture a little bit, it's been scheduled for a little bit later. That will not be, that's not reflected on the schedule right now, but it will be changed. So the lecture will be 1 hour later than it is advertised to be, so that everyone may have enough time to come from work and come. Also, we'll be listening to Shri Maharajji's lectures, the historic lectures, Main Kaun, Mera Kaun, literally who am I and who is mine. These are amazing lectures, 103 lectures in their in totality. And we'll be starting from lecture number 50, because in the previous retreats we've been watching these lectures as well. These are just lectures to end all lectures, and they're all subtitled, so everyone may enjoy them, and they're all 1 hour long. And so that will be in the daytime. You can look at the schedule and pick and choose where you can, if you can't come for the whole day, come for part of the day. As you were hearing earlier, there's a lot of different activities, outdoor activities, picnics, question and answer sessions. So this is a great opportunity from Thanksgiving Day till the New Year Day to really learn more about devotion and to practice devotion. Roop Dhyan, how to meditate on God, I'll be teaching that as well. How to do the visualization, and we'll be doing that using our bhajans and Keertans that Shri Maharaj Ji has gifted to us. So I encourage you to be part of this wonderful retreat. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope you are also. Now I request you to stand for Aarti as Jahnavi leads us in Aarti, with again her chorus singers being Khushi and Charmi, and Aryan being on the dholak. Couple of the volunteers, if you can take the books away at this point. Thank you.
आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी रखवारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी रखवारी की दोहन सिर कनक मुकुट झलके दोहन श्रुति कुंडल भल हल के दोहन दृग प्रेम सुधा चल गे चसीले दैन रसीले नैन गसीले सैन दोहन में नन हारी की बनवारी लतवारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी लतवारी दुहुन दृग चितवनी परवारी दुहुन लट लटकनी छवि न्यारी दुहुन भाव मटकनी अति प्यारी रसन मुख पान हसन मुस्कान दसन दमकान दुहुन बेसर छवि न्यारी की बनवारी लथवारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी लथवारी की एक उर पीतांबर फहरे एक उर नीलांबर लहरे दुहन उर लर मोतिन चढ़े कंकनन खनक की गिरिनी अनुपूरण फनक धुन रुन झुन धुनि प्यारी की बनवारी रखवारी की आरती तम प्यारी की बनवारी रखवारी एक सिर मोर मुकुट राजे एक सिर चुनरी छवि छाजे दोहन सिर तिरछे फल भ्राजे संग ब्रज बाल लाडली लाल बाह गलडाल कृपाल दोहन दृग चारी की बनवारी लथवारी आरती प्रीतम प्यारी के बनवारी लथवारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी के की बनवारी नखवारी श्री राम श्री राम श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम् नव कंचलोचन कंच मुख कर कंच पद कंचारुणम् श्री राम कंदर्प गणित अमित छवि नव नील नीरद सुंदरम् पटपीठ मानव तरित रुचि शुचि नौमि जनक सुतावरम् पटपीठ मानव तरित रुचि शुचि नौमि जनक सुतावरम् श्री राम भज दीन बंधु दिनेश दानव दैत्यवंश निकंदनम् रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल चंद दशरथ नंदनम् रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल्य चंद दशरथ नंदनम् श्री राम सिर मुकुट कुंडल तिलक चारु उदार अंग विभूषणम् आजानु भुज शर चाप धर संग्राम जित कर दूषणम् आजान भुज शर चाप धर संग्राम जित कर दूषणम् श्री राम इति वदति तुलसी दास शंकर शेष मुनि मनरंजनम् मम हृदय कंचनि वास गुरु कामादिघन गंजनम् मम हृदय कंचनि वास गुरु कामादिघन गंजनम् श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम् नव कंचलोचन कंच मुख कर कंच पद कंचारुणम् श्री राम
बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की
जय।
रासेश्वरी राधा रानी की
जय।
सियावर रामचंद्र की
जय।
पवन सुत हनुमान की
जय।
श्रीमद् सतगुरु सरकार
की जय।
श्री भक्ति धाम की
जय।
श्री युगल कुंज की
जय।
जय
जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय